These are the notes for Unit 7, Simplify and Identify, Level 2 and 3 notes. We're going to talk about adding polynomials. So we have two groups here and two groups here. We're going to group together like terms and then combine like terms. So I have a 5v squared and a 3v squared. So I could rewrite it like this, 5v squared. This is a plus, so I'm going to keep the sign, just 3v squared. And then go with the next one, negative 8v plus v. Now I have them grouped together so that you can easily add them. So these are the same, v squared, so I can add them. 5 plus 3 is 8v squared. And then over here I have a negative 8 and a plus 1. So it's a minus 7v. And that's my answer. I can't simplify that any further. For the next one, I have 3 groups of 2. You're going to do the same thing, so why don't you try that and see how you do. You can pause the video and then check your answer and see if you got the right thing. So I'm not going to group them. I'm just going to kind of underline them. 4 plus 4 is 8, plus 1 is 9. So I have 9x squared. Now let's do the other one. I have a negative 3. I could circle these, and a negative 8. That's negative 11. Then when I add a positive 5, that is going to give me a negative 6. And so there's your answer. So you can rewrite them and group them together if that helps you, or you can do it in a manner like this. So when you subtract polynomials, it's the same as just regular math. You're going to change the signs of everything inside the second set. The second set I have a negative in front of it, so I'm going to change the signs on everything here, and I've done this. I just rewrote this with the parentheses, and it's kind of like multiplying negative 1 times each thing. So I'm going to have negative 4m cubed, and this makes this a positive. Negative times a negative gives me a positive 6. And now I can combine like terms. I have the m3 and negative 4m cubed, I should say cubed. That gives me negative 3m cubed. And then when I combine a negative 6 and a positive 6, I get 0. And so that's my answer. The next one, if you want to pause it, try on your own first, and then check your answer. Do that. And I'm going to go ahead and do this. So I'm going to try to, I don't have this step written out, so I'm just going to go ahead and try to do it shorthand. I have this 8a to the 4th power, and then I have a negative. I can go in and just change these signs. Negative times a negative is a positive, and here I'm going to do the same thing. Change the signs, and I have to look up to see that. So I have a 4th power here, 4a to the 4th power here, and negative 2a to the 4th power. So 8 minus 4 is 4, and then minus 2 would be 2. I'm going to have 2a to the 4th. And now I have all these a's. I have a positive 4a plus a 7a. That's going to give me 11a. And then I'm going to subtract 2a, and that would give me 9a. So multiplying polynomials. An example of a monomial, 1 term, by a binomial, 2 terms. We're going to use distribution to multiply the outside term by each of the terms inside the parentheses. So we're going to multiply 2n times n, and then 2n times a positive 1. You could write it like this, 2n times n, if that helps you, plus 2n times 1. 2 n times n, remember we add the exponents. It's an understood exponent of 1. So I'm going to have n squared. And then 2n times 1 is just 2n. So again, you could pause it and try this on your own. We're going to go ahead and do this one. So 4r cubed times 6r. So let's multiply my numbers. 4 times 6 gives me 24. R cubed times r. And then when I add the exponents, that's understood to be 1, so 3 plus 1 is 4. 4 times negative 7 is a negative 28, and then I don't have any r's by the 7, so I'm just going to copy over my r cubed. So we're going to do something very similar whenever we multiply a binomial by a binomial, 2 terms times 2 terms. Sometimes we refer to it as FOIL. It's also referred to as double distribution. We're going to multiply the first term of the first set of parentheses, that 2v, by the second set of parentheses. So I just copied over this here and here. And then I added to that, or subtract, -7 times that set of parentheses also. And now I distribute. So 2v times 3v, 2 times 3 is 6, v times v is v squared, and then 2v times a -4, 2 times -4 is -8, and then I have a v right there. Now let's do it with my other one. I have a -7 times a +3, that gives me -21v, and then a -7 times a -4 gives me a +28. I can combine these two middle terms. They both have v. I'm going to get 6v squared, -8 and -21 is a -29v, and then plus a 28. So a good check is to maybe use the FOIL method, multiply your two first terms, 6v squared, and multiply your two last ones, +28, to make sure you got the same, what looks right. Again, you could pause the second one. We're going to do this really fast. I'm not going to write this out, but I am going to do it step by step. 3r times 5r, 3 times 5 is 15, r times r is r squared, and then I'm going to multiply 3r times 3, that's going to give me 9r, and then I'm going to multiply my second. 3 times 5 is 15r, and then times 3 would just give me 9. I forgot to put a plus here in the middle right there. Combine these two middle terms, and I have 15r squared plus 24r plus 9. Okay, the last one, and this gets kind of intense, is I'm going to multiply a trinomial by a trinomial. We're going to do the same as above, but then we also have to distribute the third term. And so I've gone ahead and written this out, x squared times everything in the second set of parentheses, plus 3x times everything in the second set of parentheses, minus 4 times the second set of parentheses. So let's go ahead and distribute that. X squared times 2x squared is going to give me 2x to the fourth. And then I'm going to multiply this times my middle term. I get -5x to the third. X squared times x, add the exponents and get 3. X squared times 1 is just itself, x squared. Now I'm going to do my second set. What might help you is if you kind of line these up. Like this one, when I do 3x times 2x squared, I get x cubed. So we know we're going to add it to this x cubed. So 3 times 2 is a +6, and then I have my x cubed. And then 3 times -5 is -15 x squared. See how they line up? And then 3x times 1 is just 3x. Now let's do my last one. -4 times a +2x squared. I'm going to have an x squared here. So I'm going to have -x squared, 8x squared. -4 times a -5x gives me a +20x. And then -4 times 1 is a -4. And let's just add them, just like old-fashioned math. So I don't have anything to add the 2x4 with, so just carry that down. -5 and a +6 is going to give me a +1. I don't have to write the 1. Look, this should have been a 3, shouldn't have. There. Sorry, that's kind of messy. So I have a +x cubed. Now, this is a 1, remember? So -8, I'm going to cut backwards. -8 and -15, they have the same side. So 8 and 15 is 23. So I have a -23 and a +1. That'll give me a -22x squared. 3 plus 20 is 23x, and then minus 4. I have my variables in descending exponent power. That's the way that we like to write it. And there you have your answer. Do the practice problems on the back of this page, and by the time you're done, you should probably be ready for the quiz. Thank you very much.